Biscuits and tea.
You know that thing, Josh, where they do and put in almost every movie regarding the Army, where the archetype of the hero in the movie will set the rifle and gun, whatever, down on a table right there. He will then, of course, slowly, to nice montage music, blindfold himself, and then he will put the gun together and then put it out. Do you guys have to learn how to do that? Is that bullshit, or can you do you do that for fun at home?
It's not bullshit. I've seen people do it. It's not the preferred technique. I mean, we're not doing that. We can. I guess it helps you to be familiar. And like I went back to, like I said before, a lot of our operations are at nighttime. So, I don't know a lot of guys breaking their rifle down in the middle of mission at night. I mean, it's pretty unrealistic. But if you had to, I could see that. I could see that would make sense if you needed to do something with your rifle in the middle of the night and you couldn't get to some white light and be spotted. But I've seen other guys just kind of mess around. And each individual piece, what you're feeling, and you get so used to muscle memory of putting together, taking apart, pulling together. Yeah. So it's really not that hard, especially with the big rifles, the normal rifles you guys see, the M4s. It's not that difficult, but it's kind of, it's goofy when you see it. But if you want to be proficient at taking your rifle apart, that doesn't make you a better shooter by any means, but hey, it's cool if you want to do that.
Okay. Yeah. They make it seem like it's like totally required. No.
Right.
Like,
no.
Okay. Myth busted. I have just before you go. In the movies where they throw a flashbang. Flash grenade?
Mm-hmm. Flashbang. Yeah.
What? Okay, so it's called a flashbang.
Flashbang. Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What does that do to the assailant or the people that if that were to come through my window right now, what am I going to experience?
Okay. Yeah. So in my opinion, that's a huge common Hollywood misconception, right? So when you throw those, what it is, it's shocking. Like, it's just supposed to throw you off. But when you watch a movie or you even play video games, if somebody throws a flashbang in the video game, you see like he's stunned and he just kind of, he moves slower. Or in the movies, they're like, they're like, oh, I can't see. You got to remember, I'm wearing night vision, and everybody thinks when they look at Hollywood, if somebody flashes a light at you in night vision, you're blinded. No, that's not the case. You can be blinded. Like if I'm under a street light, it puts a glare in my night vision. I prefer that street light to be off. But no, it's like, oh, I can't see anymore. Screw this. No, it's not that bad. So flashbang is really just to surprise you and disorient you a little bit. But they're not. You don't get any long-term effects. You're not going to feel dizzy from it. It might be a bright flash in your eyes, but in daytime, it's, that flash is a lot less visible. You know what I mean? So it's more to just scare you off and get you off your center while I come into the room and, take that room down, whether, so, so it's not as bad as you think. And actually there's a lot, they have some where they go off consecutively, like they can go off to 9 times. And I've thrown them in rooms before, and I'll go in on like the 3rd or 4th one as it's still going off. So I'm obviously still able to do my job as it's going off, but to the unsuspected, it'll jack you up a little bit. But it's not like long-term, your ears aren't going to ring for 5 seconds after, you're not going to it's just to throw you off in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you play any military-themed video games?
I try to play Call of Duty, and I'm trash at video games. I'm like, and I don't get upset about it. I'm not like, oh, this is super unrealistic. It is super unrealistic, but that's what makes the game. That's what makes the games fun. But I'm just awful at video games. So
do you ever meet people that are like, it's like they decided to come to boot camp or decided to join just because they've been playing video games? They got inspired by video games?
Not one. One. Luckily, that'd be a really weird conversation. So I'm glad I've just never and I'm too raw for that. I'm going to hurt people's feelings.
I know.
I'm very happy. I've never come across that before. Yeah.
I feel like I've known people that were like, I'm going to go to the military, and they play it every day, and they are like acting like it's some sort of entry or something. I'm like, and then obviously never go, but it's like, I know some younger kids that kind of think, are thinking like that, but it's ridiculous.
There's one game I've been sucked into, Counter-Strike, which is, I think, the most, obviously it's definitely not realistic still, but it's probably the most realistic out of all of them, where if you get hit like 3 times, you're dead. If you get hit with a sniper once, you're down. If you're moving while shooting, you're not going to come close to hitting anything. And that's just, probably the most frustrating game I've ever played, and I still just can't stop. Or I just take like one step around the corner and just dead.
Yeah.
And then you wait.
Yeah. That does. So you can't run. You can't run and shoot. Is that part of training?
It depends if you have like a shotgun, if you have
hilarious.
like a SMG.
That's hilarious. You thought I was asking you, the goalkeeper, if you can
Yeah,
run and
I
shoot.
thought this
You
was
thought I
important.
wasn't asking the former
really
Army
awkward, yeah.
Ranger.
Got flashbang.
That's hilarious. Do you have any experience with that, Tyler? Why don't you tell us what you're doing with your training? That's hilarious.
I can go. You guys got Tyler here.
Yeah, Tyler's got it.
I can handle this one.
Actually, you can. It's not the preferred method, but everybody. So again, people can try to fact check me. That's not really a fact, but I've always been trained to you shoot when there's a target present. You know what I mean? So if I'm running and if there's a bad guy in front of me, I'm not going to slow down, come to a stop, raise my rifle, and shoot. I've trained on not full blown sprints, no, but you train on moving and shooting. So it's not plausible. If there's a bad guy, you're going to shoot him. And at that point, you're, like I said, you're so good with a rifle that you can manage to keep your shot group or keep it fairly tight. But no, I'm not doing a full swing sprint, running a 40, and then as doing that shooting. No, you do tend to slow down, but you are trained to when the shot presents itself, you take the shot, because you wait any longer, somebody could be firing at you.
Sure.
So
How much of that is to actually like hit them versus get them to just go back down under cover or something and maybe buy you time?
I mean, you always want to hit them. I mean, if I'm pulling the trigger, you always want to hit them, but I mean, it doesn't hurt to get their head down, and that way you can get to proper cover or whatnot, So it's all about, eliminating the enemy, sure, but it's about preserving your life. So if I'm in an open field, I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to come to a complete stop, raise my weapon, and then have perfect sight picture, because he's going to have all that time to aim at me. So I'm going to raise my rifle, put a bunch of rounds at him, and then keep moving. So it's either going to hit him or put his head down, but either way, it's buying me time to get a more advantageous position and then eliminate him. So.
And none of those Hollywood, I would imagine, jumps or things, because you did mention a couple other that you had experienced, at least explosions, and I can't remember where I saw this, but it doesn't happen like that in movies. Am I understanding, or am I understanding that correctly? When something explodes near you, you don't fly up in a really picturesque, beautiful,
I mean, if it's
slow motion.
If it's near you and we're talking about how cool it looks, no, you're not really having that. No, but I mean, if you're getting hit, yeah, I mean, it'll knock you over for sure. It just depends on how big it is. But no, there's not really any of those cool moments. If something's blowing up near you that fast, it's probably a really bad thing. Gotcha. So everybody's getting down. So it's nothing super cool like that. No.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
In that situation, are you more worried about like projectiles hitting you, or like a shock wave, or I have no idea.
No, that's actually that's actually a good question. So the first time I was blown up, like close, my second TBI, but the first time I was blown up, it was actually a guy in front of me, or two people in front of me actually stepped on the device. The guy in front of me took a lot of the shrapnel, like his face was pretty bloody. Mm-hmm. I was behind him, but it was outside, but it was in a courtyard where there's like a 90-degree fence. And I took some of the shrapnel, but a lot of the overpressure, that blast, I mean, I was still right on top of it. So in that scenario, it was like just the pressure coming out, hitting me really jacked me up. You still feel, obviously you're on top of it, you're going to feel shrapnel, shit's going to hit you, but it's just a lot of that pressure that's coming at you so fast. And then when you're in a corner, that pressure bounces around, it has nowhere to go. So it's just hitting you a ton, if that makes sense,
So is that just kind of like a big wave that's just made of air?
I mean,
is that like, would it be like if you're against a wall and a big wave hits?
If you want to explain it that way, yeah, it is. It's a lot of pressure, so it's like, think of shaking up a soda can and then popping the top, right? Everything explodes out. So you have the soda that comes out, but it's the pressure that builds with it that's bringing it out. It's kind of the same principle there. All that air or whatever is blowing up needs to escape somewhere. Right. So it's all just moving out, and you're getting jacked, you're getting hit by that, and that'll really jack you up.